My name is Debbie Pace, and I am here at my home, Fairplay Farm in Metamora, Michigan. I am here today to show you the beginnings and of the basics of horsemanship and getting your first riding lesson started. This is our tack room where all of our boarders keep their riding equipment. These are the things that you will need to ride a horse. This is called tack. And we ride English here, so we have an English saddle and bridles, girths, and pads. The first equipment that you need when you're coming to take your first riding lesson, these are things that are mandatory. We have a riding helmet, and these many different brands and makes of a riding helmet. And the thing that you must know is that you need to have it fit properly, okay? There are many different styles and shapes of heads, so highly recommend putting them on rather than buying something from a catalog and expecting it to fit and and work well for you. So the proper fit of a riding helmet would be when it's put on, that you can move your head around and the helmet does not fall off, okay? Then it should be fastened securely and have a harness to make it a proper article for riding. There are helmets that are sold that are just used for decorative purposes. These helmets all have ASTM, that's a standard certification for safety. So what I tell my students is do not skimp on the price of your helmet. This particular helmet probably runs about $400. You can get started with a less expensive helmet for around $100, but this is a most valuable piece of equipment. The next required article of clothing are going to be good shoes. We need leather shoes, typically leather with a sole, hard sole and a heel. Tennis shoes do not work when riding, as they can get stuck in the stirrup irons, and so we want something that has a fairly smooth sole that has a little can slip out of the stirrup as a safety precaution. Better to be clear of the saddle if something happens and you come away from your horse than being stuck in the stirrup and having the potential to be drug. The other thing you see I'm wearing here are riding breeches. It's not a requirement, but they're much more comfortable to ride in rather than blue jeans with the seam on the inside. If you're wearing breeches or even blue jeans, a pair of chaps, these are kids' chaps, so they're very small, to go around your legs, or these are full chaps or half chaps, and these are my half chaps that you can see are very well worn, and these protect the inside of my calf around my shin where the leather crosses across your skin there, and if without protection you will get a saddle sore. So half chaps are a nice addition. Not a requirement for your first lesson, but you will, if you get into riding very often, you will be looking for those quickly. The other thing that is highly recommended will be a pair of gloves. A pair of leather gloves. These help to protect, again, the skin on your hands, especially as you get used to holding reins, which are either leather or cotton fabric, and they can give you blisters also, especially if you have a horse or pony that pulls. So having a pair of leather gloves on gives you a little bit better ability to hold the reins and say whoa. All right. The other thing that is for winter riding, as it's winter now, we're coming into, we don't have snow yet, but I ride outside all year round, so I found the equipment that works for me. A headband is a real must to protect my ears, and this is a nice thin headband so I can wear my helmet and not have too much bulking up around my head and not allowing me the freedom in my neck to look and see where I'm going. The other item that I have fallen in love with for the winter are two gloves, pairs of gloves, that I put inside. I put one pair inside the other, and then I have this flip over, and these are wool, but this keeps me extremely warm, and then I can use my fingers for tacking up, doing the bridle, and also I can have some purchase on the reins, and then when I get very cold, I can just tuck my fingers in here and I'm all set. So there's no reason to be uncomfortable in the winter. We can still ride.
I'm program director.
Production supervisor.
Producer, editor.
All right, Mr. Tweedle, are you ready?
I'm an editor at Oxford Community Television.
I am the station manager.
What?
We're rolling. I'm proud to be a producer here at Oxford Community Television.
Action.
What do you do at OCTV?
I do science in the news and auto talk.
Politicians!
I'm sorry, I didn't say the right things.
What do I do? I'm a jack of all trades.
Actually, I almost got to play a dead body. You made more money if you played a dead body.
I love working here.
I graduated from Bell and Howell.
I went to school for it.
Team player here.
Hi, Kelly.
Dave.
And I bring all the shows that you watch together.
In the business for 40 years. I've been a production manager, I've been a program manager, I've been a general manager.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Wham! Wham! I'm a big part of the Addison Living Show.
OCTV has some of the most imaginative people working here.
You can take a story and turn it into something visual.
I'm constantly an individual who wants to learn things.
I do this because we are your voice.
Oh, I love to do music stuff here with OCTV.
I love enthusiasm. I love people who enjoy their job.
He can do that.
Anything about broadcasting, I just really loved it.
We want you.
I am.
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 I am OCTV. I am OCTV.
I am OCTV.
I am OCTV.
I am OCTV.
I am OCTV.
I am OCTV.
We can do this.
Today we have our blacksmith, Joe Fox, working on a horse, and he's setting this horse up for winter shoes. So the shoe itself will have 4 studs to help me with traction on the ice and snow. So we'll come on out and see what Joe is doing. This is a new horse to the farm, and his name is Reddy. He's been here about 2 weeks and is being shod the way that I need him to be shod for him to be here and me to do the work that I need to do with him. Currently, Joe has his front feet prepared to nail the shoes on, and so he is currently barefoot in front, and there's a little burn mark where he's actually heated the shoe up and put it onto the foot and sort of burned around the sole for fit. There we go. Oh. I will hold, Reddy. The other thing that Joe has on this shoe is a snow pad. It's called a rim pad. Is that what you've got there, Joe? Yep. And this helps to keep the snow from getting stuck inside the shoe and the studs not being able to make contact with the ground. And Joe keeps me upright when riding out of doors. Oh, oh, good boy. Easy. Easy. All right. And that doesn't hurt. You don't see the horse, he's not harmed by this. Because it's much like the end of your nail that's grown out. And this just provides some protection for his foot also as I'm riding down the roads. One ready foot on ready.
Hi, I'm Ken LaPlace, and I'm the new director here at OCTV, and I'm on a recruiting mission. I want you to join us. Here at OCTV, we're launching a new revolution in public access television, one that's going to take us in a direction that's exciting and challenging. We're not just going to make videos here, we're going to make real movies. Movies, for example, with real Hollywood equipment, just like you see here. And we're going to make exciting videos for online, things that you'll be interested in, and you're going to have a real creative mind to join us, but that's what I want. And then we'll be able to take all that creativeness that you have and be able to put that into our editing systems here, some of the finest software packages on the market. We'll teach you how to do animation. We'll teach you how to do motion graphics and put together your videos. And yes, like I said, we'll be able to do some really cool movies here. We'll be able to do that because we have a lot of equipment that you, as a movie maker and video person, will love. For example, we've got all the lighting utensils here. We have plenty of sound gear. Say you want to become a TV reporter. Well, we have an entire set here, and I'll be able to teach you how to be a multimedia journalist, and you'll be able to take that information and hopefully maybe you can get a job. I've been in the business for over 30 years, and I intend to teach you how to take my experience and use it for your benefit. And of course, we've got sound stages. We're going to do all kinds of bands and interviews, and I need your creative minds to be able to say, hey, look, I can help you dress this out. I can tell you what kind of shows I want, but it's going to take you. I'm on a mission. I need your help. OCTV, come on down. Talk to me. Again, I'm Ken LaPlace.
You better get yourself ready. Is the seatbelt on your couch fastened tight? Do you have a file handy for chewed off fingernails? Make sure you do, and hang on tight, because the fat man cometh. other cop shows. Others that want your attention. But nothing will command your attention like the amazingly horrendous things you'll see people heartlessly do on Fat TV. The men and women of Fugitive Apprehension TV.
So we're going to groom Socks today and prepare him to ride. I'll bring him out. So I'm leading Socks from the left side, which is called the near side of the horse, and I do not have my hand wrapped around. This would, wrapping your hand, being any way attached to the horse in any secure way is not a good idea. So we lead the horse just with a nice loop in the rein, and I stay just to the side of Socks, just sort of between his shoulder and his ear, gives me a safe place. And I'm also, so that I don't get stepped on. So I just stay to the side of him in just a comfortable distance where I can control him. We like to use leather halters here. Just again, another safety precaution, as the leather will break if a horse were to be caught in any way. It's better that a horse breaks free rather than hurting himself. So then I also have, safety is just paramount around animals. And this is called a turtle snap, and this is another sort of safety feature. So if the horse panics, pressure will just automatically release the snaps. And then at the other end, I use baling twine also as a breakaway. So, and most of these horses are all pretty good on our cross ties. So Socks is wearing a winter blanket. My horses get worked on a regular basis. Socks has not yet been body clipped, but he's wearing a blanket to help keep him from getting too much coat, although he has quite a bit of hair coat already. So we'll be taking the blanket off. And then Socks also has a bandage on his rear leg, which I'll be taking off, as he has a condition that we call scratches. This time of year with the mud, we've got a problem with the white socks. The horses that have white are a little bit more susceptible to the kind of moisture and the conditions right now that we are incurring in Michigan without our snow and freezing. And right now it's just a little sore because I took the bandage off. So we're getting a few of the basic grooming tools that are needed to get started. And we have a rubber curry, a plastic curry, which works very well for mud, which we're having a lot of right now, a soft brush, a hoof pick, and this is a tail, mane or tail brush. So I'm going to begin with the curry, the harder curry. Everyone sort of has the tools that they like, and the brands and different things that work for your hands. And we want to pay special attention to the girth area, wherever the tack will be going. We've got to make sure that area is nice and clean so that the saddle, and if he gets sweating, doesn't create sort of an environment for things to grow or cause him the potential for sores. So then down here, now this mud is dry, so I can brush this mud off, and I'm kind of gentle with this harder curry around the bones. and the tendons. He doesn't have a lot of meat down here. Here's the flesh of his leg. So I need to be a little more gentle, a little careful in cleaning off the mud. I'm going to pick his feet next because that's usually one of the first things I do, because if I'm bringing a horse in to ride and he's very muddy and the last thing I do is find out he's missing a shoe, then I've wasted a lot of time. So I like to make sure they have all of their shoes on. So I'm going to lean into Socks and pick up his foot. And Socks is already shod with his winter shoes. So, and you see he has his studs. I put a little bigger studs here. And this is the frog. This is called the frog. We're very gentle when cleaning around the frog, or not to gouge the frog. The sole is quite hard, and that's this part that the that the shoe is sitting on, and the wall is what the blacksmith nailed the nails into. So next I'm going to take both my hard brush and my soft brush and begin. I like to work with two hands just for time's sake. And now we get all of that scurf and dander and mud that we've worked out of his coat with the curry. We now can get it off of him. And then we're going to take the soft brush around his face. So we're nice and gentle as we groom and clean his face. All right. Now, Socks is not ready for the show ring by any means with this groom job today, but this gets us basically cleaned and ready for sort of a daily ride. This also gives us a time to check over and see that he doesn't have any cuts or injuries. This is the best way, kind of going over every bit of his body to make sure that we're not missing anything that he may have done to himself while out playing with his friends. And it's also just good health for his coat and his skin to be groomed. And some horses you'll find enjoy the process of grooming, and some horses really would rather be left alone. So you'll know your animal, and just by his changing behavior, you also know if something is maybe up with him and how he's feeling that particular day. I have my mane and tail brush, which is not mandatory, but if he's got burrs, the one thing that during the fall is they'll get little burrs up here in their forelock, and those we need to get out because those can become a problem if they get in their eyes, and they can actually scratch their eye, and then we have to get the vet out to take care of healing that. When brushing the tail, I like to begin at the bottom of the tail. Some horses don't have much tail. Socks has a pretty nice tail, but we don't want to just rip the tail hairs out. So we start at the bottom and work our way up, working the knots out and just getting the dirt off. We here keep our tails, this tail is actually a little bit long, but just clipped off at the bottom. For trail riding, and fox hunting, we fox hunt here. We don't want long tails. I know in the show ring, in some disciplines, they want a very long tail. When you're out trail riding, this tail is going to pick up sticks and debris, and that's one thing that if you've ever had a stick being dragged behind your green horse, it doesn't make for an enjoyable ride. Another thing that you need to know when working around the horse, besides not getting your feet stepped on, is sort of, you see where the horse's eyes are placed in his head. So his best vision is going to be coming at him from either side, not walking directly straight forwards. He has a blind spot right directly in front of him, and so that can sort of spook him or scare him and startle to make him possibly move back or jump or break away. We also work around the horse quietly. I don't, I have kids in the barn. They learn that, we don't run around the horses. I'm always, when working around the horse's hind end, I just as long as he knows I'm here, I can put my hand on him, and also as I'm talking, he knows where I'm at the whole time. The only time, the majority of horses, there are horses that are a little nastier, but for the most part, horses aren't out to kick you or bite you. It's just in a startle reaction, as they are prey animals. They will have, they can possibly kick, or kicking at a fly, kick you. So standing, directly behind them, or, just forgetting that, that's just not a place that you're just going to stand for long periods of time. Do what you're going to do and then move away from their hind end. And always a voice. I mean, they're animals, and they pick up. They're very, very intelligent. They all have personalities. They pick up on your tension, your mood. Always kind words and soothing voice is much appreciated by them, especially if you have a nervous type of horse. Sox here is not a nervous guy. He's a wonderful beginner's type horse, and sort of a great first horse type for any rider. Well, I certainly hope you've enjoyed learning just the beginnings, basics of what you'll need first when you come to the farm and are interested in taking your first lesson. Just some of the initial safety equipment, and then the beginnings of preparing your horse to ride. So we showed you a little bit of grooming, and this is not in preparation for a horse show. We can do that at a later time, clipping and show preparation. So glad that you came today. I hope I've piqued your interest in learning more about horses. We've got future shows to show you the various things that we can do with our horses and get you ready to ride. I hope that sometime you'll come out and join us in the beautiful Metamora countryside and see what country living with horses is all about.